Hi, I'm Morse, the founder of Core Elements Training. In this short video, I'm going to demonstrate Petrissage techniques to the back of the leg. Our Petrissage techniques are foundation massage techniques which are covered in our sports massage certificate course. And the Petrissage techniques that I'm going to demonstrate here include kneading, ringing and rolling. Some of the key differences between effleurage and petrissage techniques is that the petrissage techniques provide a transverse stretch to the muscle tissue, which means that we're stretching the muscle fibres across the fibres or across the direction of the fibres rather than in the length of the muscle fibre. So it's really beneficial for helping to reduce muscle tension and to increase localised circulation. Okay, so we need to apply our massage medium first. So the medium that I'm using here is lotion, but you could also use oil or wax as well. So I'm placing my hand onto the client's skin as I put about 2 to 2.5 pumps of lotion into my hand. I'm going to apply the lotion to the skin or to the muscle using the effleurage technique, and then I'm going to quickly move it into the petrissage techniques. So I'm going to warm the lotion up first, okay, and then using like a lunge position with my legs and engaging the abdominals so my back's in a nice tall position. I'm going to apply the lotion, okay, and then I'm moving between my legs as I move up and down the client's leg. Okay, then when we go into our petrissage techniques, we now want to be facing the client. So in like a squat position, so we've got a nice wide base between the legs. So again, we're looking after our posture as we're applying the techniques to the client. Okay, so with the kneading technique, it's almost like kneading bread. So you've got one hand coming in first and then the other hand will follow. Okay, so I'm going to bring my hands together and I'm going to squeeze my fingers and the thumb into the tissue slightly to lift the tissue, which is one of the key features of all of these petrissage techniques. Okay, then I'm going to move my fingers and thumbs together, and as one hand comes closer towards the other hand follows in. So it's almost like a figure of 8 that we're trying to produce. So as one hand comes over and then the other hand follows, that provides that transverse stretch in the muscle tissue. Okay, as we get nearer to the ankle and to that Achilles region, our techniques are becoming a little bit smaller because the client's tissue area becomes smaller. And then as we're going up nearer the gastrocnemius, our techniques are becoming a little bit more broad. Okay, we're just moving over the back of the knee, okay, and then we're trying to get that lift through the tissue as we do our kneading technique over the whole of the back of the leg or that hamstring area. So as we get to the more lateral side of the hamstring, or the side closer to you, you might want to squat down a little bit further so that that back stays straight the whole time. We're coming up to the top of the hamstrings as well. Whole time trying to make sure that you're bringing that thumb and the finger together so that you're getting that lift in the tissue, which is one of those key features. All of our petrissage techniques provide a transverse stretch and they lift the tissue upwards as well. So in between the techniques, we're going to effleurage. Okay, again. And if the client is absorbing the medium quite quickly, then you could reapply the medium as well in between the techniques. So the next technique that I'm going to demonstrate is ringing. So ringing, again, provides a transverse stretch. And with this technique, have the hand closest to you, facing upwards, and the other hand facing downwards. Now what you're going to do first of all, again, squat down so you've got that nice tall back. You're going to squeeze the hands together, okay, and then one hand is going to swap over, or the two hands are going to swap over in their positioning. So we lift and we try to keep that lift as the hands move from side to side. And as we do that technique, we're moving up and down the limb. Be careful of what your thumb is doing, because quite often people want to move the thumbs out as you do this technique. Keep the thumbs close to the fingers. And then again, we're moving up the limb. And as we get nearer to the top of the hamstring, then the hands will just go in a bit more of a diagonal position. So making sure each time you come back to that squeeze to lift the tissue, and then the hands move. So it's a clear squeeze and swap, squeeze and swap. So just going to go back up the leg, just again avoiding the back of the knee, and then just becoming a bit more diagonal as we get nearer to the top of that hamstring. Just maintaining the client's dignity throughout. And again, once we've done that technique, anywhere from between 4 to 8 times, moving up and down the leg, then we can flush in between with that effleurage technique. So the effleurage is working in the direction of that lymphatic flow, so it helps to flush the tissue in between those Petrissage techniques. Then finally we're going to come into rolling. So rolling is our third Petrissage technique. And with this, what we're doing is we're bringing our hands into a triangle type position. Okay, so hands, fingers are touching, thumbs are touching, and then again in being consistent like with the other techniques, we're going to squeeze the tissue first. So the tissue lifts in between the fingers and the thumbs. So we've got that lift, and then what we're going to do is move our thumbs towards our fingers. Then we're going to stretch the fingers out again and move the thumbs towards the fingers. So again, we're rolling, or the aim is to roll the skin over that top layer of fascia of the muscle. So it's helping to stretch the fascia between the bottom layer of the skin and the top layer of the muscle, and it's helping to produce a relaxation effect in the tissue. But sometimes if you've done this and there's a little bit too much medium left on the skin, you feel like you can't get enough friction between those tissue layers. So in those instances, then just wipe a bit of that medium off, okay, using that towel, and then come back to the area, and then this time you should be able to get that nice lift. So fingers and thumbs together, squeezing the tissue, and now I'm moving the thumbs towards, okay, the fingers. Then we come back over to the side closest to you, squeeze, thumbs move to the fingers, stretch the hands, thumbs move to the fingers, then come back over, and again squeeze and move, squeeze and thumbs move. And then we will continue this technique again all the way up the back of the leg. So sometimes if the muscle tissue is quite tight and it's got good muscle tone, it feels like you're not lifting the tissue very much, but the client will still feel these beneficial effects. Okay, so you will notice when you're doing this on different types of clients, some clients they'll get a nice lift between the skin and the muscle, and other clients there'll be less lift. It just depends on that elasticity in the tissue layers and also in the differences between the tone of the tissue. So you can see here that the client is a little bit looser on that inside of the calf. So we're getting that nice roll in the tissue there. And then once you've done that, again, anywhere between 4 to 8 times up and down the leg, Then again, we can effleurage, so we're flushing that tissue out again in between those techniques. Okay, so just to reiterate there, we have demonstrated our Petrissage techniques, and our Petrissage techniques stretch the muscle tissue in a transverse direction, whereas our effleurage massage techniques stretch the tissue in a longitudinal direction. So the techniques that we've just covered here include kneading, ringing and rolling. If you'd like to find out about any of the other massage techniques that we cover on our Level 3 Sports Massage Foundation course, then please subscribe to our YouTube channel where you'll see demonstrations of other techniques. If you'd like to find out more about our Sports Massage Certificate course, then please visit the website, which is www.coreelements.uk.com. Thank you.